So we're going to go ahead and report on another position change for you, Zayne. It sounds like from what Kalani was saying. Um, I wanted to ask you though specifically about adjustments. The coach has talked about it in the coordinator's corner, and then Kalani talked about it. What's it like as a player, and you've seen this over the years, the in-game adjustments and seeing the processes as the decisions come from the coaches and then down, and are implemented on the field. What's that like? Because you guys had to make some adjustments against Houston.
Yeah, I think when you're playing a really good team like Houston and other good teams in the future, I think you have to adjust because they're going to make adjustments. And if you don't adjust, then, if you do the same thing, they're just going to pick you apart. And so we made some good adjustments at halftime. And just as a player, you've got to do what you can do. You've got to execute the game plan, what's given to you. So whatever's given to you, you just got to do it to its fullest and just trust that the coaches are going to put you in good position to make plays. And so that's something as players that we can probably do a little better. Just execute and trust what we're doing. Trust the technique, different leverages and stuff, and trust each other. I think that's the biggest thing going down forward. And then obviously adjustments are going to be made, but as players, just trust in everything, seeing how it works.
How rewarding is it in that sense, Zayne, when it does work out, like it did kind of in that fourth quarter, most of the second half really for you guys, and all of a sudden things start clicking?
Oh, it's amazing. I think we really kind of shut them out. We kind of, when guys are sticking on routes when we were playing man and just kind of dominating, it's fun playing football like that when you go with a lot of 3-and-outs with their offense and stuff. And so it's fun. Everyone loves that. And so as long as we keep making adjustments and keep tuning everything up, we should be solid.
Zayne, last year as a defense, you had 17 total sacks. This year through 5 games, you've had 16 sacks. Is there anything specific that you can point to on how come BYU's had so much more success in getting pressure on the quarterback and getting to the quarterback this season?
Kind of bribing some of the D linemen. I'm bribing Z-Daw with some food before he gets me some sacks. No, I think those guys are just really doing a really good job. It just shows how dominant they really are, and when they get loose, what they can do. And so I think that's the best thing we can do is just let them play to what they're good at, and whether it's pass rushing or bull rushing or whatever they do is best, and just let them do what they do. And because we've got some really capable D linemen, and I love seeing them do their thing.
Okay, let's go Alex and then Jay.
Hi, Zayne. I'm curious about what you think of how having fans at home for the first time this year, how much extra energy, maybe a little bit of extra competitiveness does that give you guys when you're on the field versus in times when you haven't had fans in stadiums so far?
Yeah, I think it helps a lot. I think when you don't have fans, you kind of have to create your own energy as a team and on the sideline. And with fans, it brings a little more energy. And I think it's nice also just having our families there. As a senior, not being able to – my family hasn't even seen me play yet this year in my whole senior season. And so you kind of take those things for granted, and it'll be nice to have them back in the stands. And it is – we felt it in Houston, I think. We had a lot of Cougar fans there, and it helped having them throughout the whole game, and they had our backs. And I think it created an edge for us as well.
How many of your family members do you think are going to be there?
Probably as many as all of them if they can come. They gave us 4 tickets, so I think planning on at least 4. So.
Jay, you're up.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
We saw you kind of come on and off the field at Houston. Are you health okay wise?
Yeah, I'm healthy. I feel really good. This is we're in the middle of a season, and I'm feeling healthy, and so it's always a blessing. It's a little different than the past couple of years, but it feels good.
And I wanted to ask you about Kalani. Just mentioned how well BYU's doing numbers wise with COVID, how pleased he is with the team, and what do you think where does that attitude come from? Who are the leaders in that effort, I guess?
I think it just kind of starts with a few guys making sacrifices of not going to social events or weddings. It's something everybody wants to do. Like one of our former teammates got married about a month ago or so, and none of us went. It's just those are tough things, you know. You can't go see your boys get married or family members get married, or just social events, you know, that other people aren't having to sacrifice, that we have to sacrifice. But I just think it carries onto the field, our sacrifices. It makes football a little more important in their life if they're sacrificing things for it. And so I think it carries over to everything. And I think that just as the more we're sacrificing and stuff, we'll keep seeing these good results, and we'll keep being able to play, and that's always important.
Whose wedding was it?
Will Watanabe,
Oh,
he was a safety for us last year, but he got married, and so no one could go. But we wish we were there.
thanks, Zane.
Yep.
Last two questions, Pat Graham, and then let's go Jay Catch.
Hey, thank you very much for your time. Just curious, you guys have Boise State looming on the horizon. You're facing a 1-5 Texas State team. How do you prevent complacency and looking ahead? How do you keep focused on this game? I mean, this is a good Texas State team.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a really good Texas State team. We're not even worried about the future. I think, as we've seen in the years past, where we win big games and then we lose games we shouldn't lose. And so I just think as leadership and seniors, and a lot of the older guys, we've been through those games where we've lost and we shouldn't have lost. And so I just think it comes down to focusing on each game and really locking in and taking every game really serious. And that's what we're planning on doing. This is a really good Texas State team. They've got a really good offense, and they're really capable. So that's where our focus is now.
Zayne, I wanted to go back to one of your original points in this interview. And you talked about the fact that playing man against Houston was something you enjoyed doing. Was that a decision that was made at halftime? When was that implemented in that game?
It was implemented before the game. It was one of our coverages that we were going to plan on running a lot. We kind of strayed away from it, and we kind of came back to it, and it did really well for us. And so it's cool that we can run that. It's my first time at BYU since we've been able to be a good man team, and I think it creates a really good variable for us to use down the line. So I think it's really good we showed we can do that.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, is this something you feel like the coaching staff now knows, hey, we can do that, and they can implement that more into a game plan?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they saw I think they knew before too, but we have capable guys out there that can play man. I've got all my faith in our corners, our nickels, and some of our linebackers doing the whole shot. But I think we've got capable guys to do it, and so all my faith in them. And I'm the free safety, you know, I can trust those guys, and so it's really important. I think the coaches see that too.
All right, thanks, Zane.
Okay, thanks guys.